There's a folder in Schoology that has that. I'm just recording the current screen, so it will show all the notes. Okay,
Wait,
30 seconds. Yes, dear.
for number 2,
For number 2, what about number 2?
when finding the perimeter,
Perimeter?
you add the 51 and 86.
Yeah, well, add these up, right? But then if
Divide
this
by
is
2.
51, no, don't divide by 2 because it's a whole rectangle.
Oh, okay.
Instead, you times,
It by each other?
yeah, you times it by each other. So 51 times 86, that's area. And then the perimeter is 51 plus 51 plus
86.
plus.
86.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's how you find the perimeter. Okay, and for those who are new, all the classworks are due at 11:59 on the same day. And I told the class that when the chapter is over, you will receive a summary grade. So even though you are not able to finish the assignments on time, as long as you get them done before I give you your summary grade, they will be counted. Okay? Now some chapters are good for like 3 weeks. Yeah, so we are now in week 3. I'm not yet done with this chapter. If a chapter is only good for 2 weeks, then that means you only have 2 weeks to make up for whatever you're missing. Okay. So I'm going to move us on. Time to move on. For those who are new, if you look at this folder right here, where it says teacher, slides, and recorded notes, that's where you're going to find all the lessons I did from week 1, week 2, and so on. Okay? And then I know some of us don't learn, we don't learn at the same pace. So I try to put all the notes here so you can follow along. If I'm too fast, you can review the notes after. There you go. If I add another slide, I'm going to add that too. Just so I can make sure that you're not missing out on anything. Okay. All right, so it's done. If you're not yet done with the warm-up, you have to pause. It will save your initial answers. You can go back to it later on. Let's now write down our notes, okay, on our notebook. So we are now doing 1.4, and it's about polygons, and then later on we're going to go back to perimeter and area. Okay, so I'll tell you what to copy. You don't have to copy everything here. So polygon, we've seen that before. Can we have like a quick rundown again of the names of polygons from 3 sides to 10 sides? So starting with 3 sides, it's a triangle. If it has 4 sides, what do you call it?
Square. Quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral, that's the general, that's the umbrella term, right? So any polygon with 4 sides is quadrilateral. Squares and rectangles are just samples of quadrilaterals, but that's not the general term. 5 sides? 5 sides?
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid has 4.
Pentagram.
Pentagon. So I think I should be writing those down, huh? Okay. All right. So, yes. So from 3 sides, you have triangle. Max said for 4 sides, it's a quadrilateral. Okay, for 5 sides, it's a pentagon. For 6 sides, it's a hexagon. For 7 sides, sometimes Google call it heptagon or septagon. Both are accepted. 8, octagon. 9, nonagon. 10, decagon. If it's more than that, 11 and 12 also has names. But if it's anything more than 10, you could just say 11-sided polygon. So you don't have to call it specifically. So 11-sided polygon, 12-sided polygon, and so on. Later on, when you do your workbook, questions numbers 1 through 4 will ask you, name the polygon. So depending on the number of sides, this will be some of your responses. Okay? So we'll do that in just a little bit. So numbers 1 through 4 on page 20, it will say classify the polygon like this, and then you're going to tell whether it's convex or concave, and that's the next thing I'm going to be talking about. Okay. So if you cannot see from where you're seated, this can also be found in week 3 slides. This is slide number 17 or page 17. Okay, so now that you know the names, let's also classify them in terms of whether they are convex or concave. So how do we differentiate them? Okay, so let's take a look at the shape here at the bottom. Let me pull it higher. Okay, so this original shape here, that's actually just a general quadrilateral. So it's just like this at first. There you go. And then what did they do? They extended some sides. So they extended the sides, all 4 sides. There you go. How do I know which side I'm extending? Well, extend everything. Okay, so just make each side longer. Now, what do you notice? Did any of my red lines pierce through the polygon? Did it ever cross the inside? No, it never went inside the polygon, right? So if you extend all the sides and no extension went inside the polygon, you call that one a convex polygon. Okay? Now, when does it become a concave? Well, look at that shape over there. This side was extended, right, to make that entire line over there. Now, what happened? Do you see a portion of the line that went inside or the interior of the polygon? Yes. Okay, can you draw here on the board another example of a shape here that is concave, meaning if you extend a side, it's going to go through in the interior. Can somebody do that on the board? Make one up. Make a figure up. Like draw one and then show us that if you extend one side, the extension will like slice through the shape. Anyone? Come on, Jesse. Let's go, Jesse. You have a fan base here, huh?
So,
All right, just draw it over here so everybody can see.
so I draw it like that?
No, anything that you like, any shape that you like, and then make sure when you extend one side, it's gonna be like going through the interior.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, nice. Okay. So now pick another color of pen over there. Click on the left-hand side, click the red one. Okay, and then can you show which side, when extended, goes through the inside of the polygon?
Like, yeah, I don't know. Wait, does it go this way?
Yeah, it should go that way. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you. There you go. Yeah, one more. Okay, do it again.
I was thinking that.
You were thinking that. Yeah, and your gut feel is right. There you go. Can you find another one? When you extend it, it still slices through.
Make
No, like another line of the same picture. Isn't there another blue thing that when you extend, it's gonna go inside? Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, not that one. Because you did not extend a side. You have to like trace one
Oh,
side to make it longer.
okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Good job. Okay. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so in Jess's figure, he was able to identify like 2 sides that when we extend them, the lines go inside the polygon. Actually, here's another one, Jesse. There you go. So if you extend that, it's gonna go to the interior, correct? Right, then you see that? Yeah? Okay, but one ruins it for all. So Jesse did not need to draw all of them. Okay, one line that goes inside the polygon ruins the whole thing. So you call those shapes concave. All right? Okay, so let's try if we got this first part. Spend the next 3 minutes. Go get your workbook, page 20. Answer questions 1 through 4. Who doesn't have a workbook yet? Everybody must have it already, right? Okay. Oh, Rylan, you don't have a workbook, huh? Oh, you do? Okay, great. All right, page 20.
Do we leave them here?
Huh?
We leave them here?
Yeah, you can leave them here.
Do we put we write our names on them?
Yeah. I made them like write their initial at the bottom so they can identify it easily. If you don't have your workbook,
We gotta put our names on it.
yeah, put like an initial so you can leave it there and you can find it easily. Okay, if you don't have your workbook, I also have this available online. It's called this one. Elena, you don't have your workbook? Oh, you do.
I literally.
Pencil topper, I don't have one, but if you open the drawer right behind Ryan, there's a lot of pencils there. Yeah. Ryan, raise your hand. There you go. There's a drawer there. Open it. Hey, don't hurt him. I didn't even touch him.
Yeah, I see it.
She was on it.
Alright.
She's watching you. Do we write our names at the bottom of the
You
section?
will. Not that one. Only on the consumable one.
There's like.
Yes.
So we take this
Okay,
one.
page 20. So number 1 through 4 only. Sure, honey. Okay, maybe you're wondering, do I have to bring my workbook back and forth? No. If there's something that I need you to do, usually I also have a digital copy in Schoology. So since I know that you're already bringing your Chromebook back and forth, I'm not requiring you to, carry that in your backpack. That's too much already. All right. So for the first question, you're gonna tell the name of the polygon based on the number of sides. And we kind of made a cheat sheet earlier, right? I don't know if you copied it down. So count the number of sides. Okay, and then now later on, or not later today, but next week when we finish both 20 and 21, we will enter the answers in Schoology. So that's how I will correct your answers for accuracy. So this is how it looks like online. So the first box will be what's the name of the polygon based on the number of sides, and then the second box will be whether it's convex or concave. Yes, Elena?
For number 1, what's the shapes? Wouldn't it technically be the concave and convex?
No, the concave convex goes to the second box.
Oh.
Okay, so what's the name of number 1? How many sides does it have?
It's a pentagon.
It's a pentagon because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be a pentagon. And then for the second box, okay, so is it convex or concave?
Concave.
Concave, because you can find something or a side such that its extension goes inside the polygon. So this is concave. Okay. All right. So you're gonna write those down on your note. On your journal. Your what do you call that again? Workbook.
Miss Arciaga,
Yes, ma'am.
can you repeat the definition again just to find it down?
Of which one?
For concave and convex?
Oh, concave is concave meaning extension of any side goes in the interior, and then convex extensions don't intersect the interior. So it's just a matter of whether it goes inside or not. Yes, dear.
What were these notes called?
We are now doing 1.4, and then that's a title. Polygons, perimeters, areas, and...
So I would read these notes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
And then any number after 10 is like blank side
Yeah.
polygon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, give yourself one more minute, and then I'm going to teach you how to do the rest. The ones at the bottom. One more minute. Okay, let's go back to our notebook, but keep your workbook with you, because we're going to continue that later on. Okay, so now let me give you some examples on how to find perimeter and area when they are already graphed on the XY axis. So you guys see this? Okay. All right, so back to our notebook. What shape do you see on the screen?
Triangle.
A triangle. What kind of triangle? What kind of triangle? Right triangle. Very good. So this is a right. Oopsie. Nope. Okay, so this is a right triangle. And what do we say was the area of a right triangle again?
180.
That's for the angles. What's the area of a right triangle?
Oh, area.
Area. Base times?
Base times height divided by 2.
Height divided by 2. Okay, this is an easier problem than the perimeter. Let's do this first and then go back to the perimeter. Can you count the base for me? How long is the base? 5. Can you count the height for me? 6. So what's 5 times 6? 30. Divided by 2? 15. Okay, so that's the area. Simple, right? Now, it gets a little bit complicated when you're trying to find the perimeter. What do I mean by perimeter again? You add up all the sides. Okay, let's enumerate the sides. The first side, the base, we call it BC. The height, how do we call the height? What 2 letters form it? A and C. So we call the height AC. Plus, there's a third side. What do you call the third side?
C.
What's the third side?
AB.
AB. Okay, so now let's fill in the blanks. How long is BC? 5. How long is AC? 6. Can we also count the number of boxes to find AB? Not anymore. Why, Kobe? It's like this. It's diagonal, right, Annie? Okay, so if it's diagonal, you cannot just count the boxes. So now we have a bigger problem. How do we find AB? Okay, let's find AB first so we can find the perimeter. Okay, so to find AB, on your notebook, go ahead and make a sketch of the triangle. You know when you have a figure like this, you don't have to like sketch it super nicely. If you just make a rough sketch, okay, what is this one? We said this was 5, this was 6, right? And this is what we're looking for. So this is AB. That's what we don't know. So what formula from middle school are you going to use to find AB?
The Pythagorean theorem.
Very good. And what's the Pythagorean theorem again?
A to the power of 2 plus B to the power of 2 equals 2.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's plug them all in. So 5 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. Okay, what is 5 squared?
25.
What is 6 squared?
36.
Okay, so let's add them up. What do we get? Pay attention, Rylan. 61 is equal to C squared, right? Okay, so now get the square root of both sides so you get the value of C. Anybody who has a calculator, can you help me? I cannot do that in my head. I just know it should be smaller than 8 because this is smaller than 64, right? 8 times 8 is 64. So this is 61. You have to give me a number that's smaller than 8. What does your calculator say? I'll copy from Kobe. 7.8. Okay, so C is 7.8. Okay, so one more time. By knowing the base and the height, we use the Pythagorean theorem to get the hypotenuse. This is what you call the hypotenuse now. Okay, so now we're ready to plug that in here. So we now know that AB, how do I erase? Okay, we know now that AB is 7.8. So let's put plus 7.8. Okay, all together now, how much?
18.8.
18.8. Very good, Max. And then we're just going to put here units because there's no units used. Okay. Quick question, please. I'll pause for 15 seconds. Is there anything you did not understand very well and would like me to go over one more time? Is it always a squared plus b squared equals c squared to find the hypotenuse? Yes, and you only do that when it's a right triangle. Okay? In the next one, I'll show you what will happen if it's not a right triangle. Okay? All right. Okay, looks like you don't have any questions, so let's move on. One more so you can continue on the workbook. The examples in the workbook will be similar to what we're doing right now. Okay, so let me clear out everything. All right. What kind of triangle do you see now?
Acute.
Acute. What else aside from being acute? So okay, so it's acute. Down. Why do I have to do this all the time? Okay. So it's acute because all the angles are acute. What else? Something acute triangle. Sebastian.
Isosceles?
Isosceles. Kind of looks like isosceles, but I think this one is longer than the other. Yeah. What do you call something with no equal sides? If they're equal, isosceles. If they're not equal, such as
Obtuse.
obtuse. I think acute is right because it doesn't have an obtuse angle. What is it? Scaly triangle. There you go. Okay. Scaling acute triangle. So the first triangle we dealt with earlier, that's a scaling right triangle because it has a right angle and the sides are 5 and 6. Okay, so moving on. Here, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the area. So area of a triangle we said earlier is base times height divided by 2. Okay, so you're gonna help me out. How long is the base?
8.
8. Okay. How tall is the triangle?
6.
6. Okay. And to find the height, you have to go from that tip going down right here. Okay. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the height is 6. And then we're going to divide that by 2. So 8 times 6
48.
divided by 2.
24.
24. And if it's area, it's going to be square units. So if it's meter, square meters. If it's centimeter, square centimeters. Okay, so this is the case when the triangle is not right and it doesn't have a height. You have to create the height. When you create the height, always find that straight line from 1 to the base, forming a right angle. So a height can never be like this. It cannot go like this. That's not a height. Don't force it to be a right triangle when it's not, a right angle over there. So that's not the height. Okay. Another way to find the height is if you want to start from this point, just go all the way straight up. There you go. That height, the red one, is the same as this height, the green one. So if you count, that's also going to be 6. As long as it tells you how far one vertex is, perpendicular to the opposite side. All right. Okay, so at this point, for those who are here when we started on the poster, in order to receive your grade for the poster, you have to finish it today. For those who just started with me a little bit later and you were not here when we did the poster yet, continue working on page 20 to 21 of your workbook. Make sense? Okay, the workbook is not due until September 5th when we come back. You're not going to tear off a page. I don't want to grade individual pages of your workbook. I will ask you to enter the answers next week in Schoology. Okay? So try as many items on the workbook, then leave it here, and then continue next week. Okay, so